Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is Craig Shore, but you know me as Poo2, P-U-2-A-S-U, and that is my name, and this is my channel, and this is the Poo2 crew, Octopus Time. So I want to welcome you to our Monday night Dungeons and Dragons night. We are starting session 17 of the Unbeaten Path tonight. We are very excited to go through another one of the wonderful journeys that PS Zombie has sent us on. So we thank you for joining us or listening to this later. We appreciate it. Just a quick reminder for all of you listeners that you can find us on all of the social medias. You can search PU to ASU to
Even
find
MySpace.
even MySpace,
Not
resurrected MySpace, and
really. Even Google
Zanga.
Plus.
So search PU to ASU on YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, or Twitch to find me.
Or OnlyFans.
Or, nope, I had to delete that one. Just kidding. If you want the server location for our Discord server, just hit us up in the chat on any of those medias and we'll send you that way. Also, check out our Facebook page for PUTASU for updates on content. We also want to give a special shout out to any of the local areas of GT South, Game Exchange, or Geeks and Comics, the local areas in our commuting area of Montgomery, Alabama. Check those places out if you haven't. They're great places to hang if you're into comics or D&D or gaming or anything in between. And I think that's it for announcements. We just finished our session 2 of our Kaiju Slayer campaign last night, which is very fun. And we have back-to-back campaigns now. So now PS Zombie is going to lead us through a Unbeaten Path session. So PS Zombie, how are you doing?
Doing well. Just want to tell Battle Armor I effectively used Force Cage.
Hey!
A rare pleasure.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
He screwed up my bad guy.
Yeah, I very effectively used Force Cage.
It's one of those things where, like, as a DM, you gotta be careful of your enemies that are within Force Cage size. You gotta not make them too mouthy, or they're gonna get Force Caged.
Well, the next enemy we encountered was, I believe, the size of a 2-story building or so.
Yeah. So not
too big for
Force Cageable. Well done, though.
Yeah, proud. But yeah, we are on the Unbeaten Path. This is a custom campaign that we're doing that's vaguely based on like roguelike games. After watching a lot of Binding of Isaac, it seems like it's kind of most similar to that, TBH.
Well, that's kind of the blueprint, to be honest.
Like the room to room sort of format.
Yeah.
But they are normally on the path, which is like an infinitely changing maze that connects various planes of existence. But they are currently within the belly of a sort of...
we're in a monster's belly.
Galactic worm thing that has swallowed them from off the path. And they are currently in its heart, where they just finished fighting a suit of armor that was very similar to Kuros's and a horned demon. I think that's about where we left off.
Vaguely cow-esque, I believe, was the...
No relation.
He was.
It's my cousin. It's twice removed. It's not
confirmed.
popular.
No relation. Okay, cool. I got it. I was seeing if I changed y'all's tags to be able to see on the stream, so now your names are up there, which looks pretty cool. All right.
Nice.
Well,
I did forget.
So yeah, with the absence of any immediate danger. Oh, do we want to do introductions?
Yeah, we can go through.
Yeah, let's go real quick. Battle Armor.
It's been long enough. So I am Battle Armor. I'm playing Karos Fester. I'm an armor artificer, and I am an Avarial. And I'm joined by a nice little lady called Rainer, who is my companion. She's a skilled defender. little jaguar, I believe.
Swift Jaguar.
That's me, Alibaba.
I am Alibaba, the warlock. Eldritch blast shooting. Swindled a genie into giving me insane power.
Swindle.
Tiefling from the desert with a lot of children. And looking forward to playing tonight.
Hell yeah.
I am a Boobus Calfin, and I am a Minotaur race. And mechanically class, I am a Grave Domain Cleric. I have a companion named Dalio, who's mechanically Beast of the Land. And we are two rough and tumble Butch and Cassidy combos. And we're going to beat up some stuff in this monster and cause it indigestion.
That's Butch and Cassidy from Pokemon.
Yes.
Because Butch Cassidy was one human being.
Yep.
IRL.
Jesse James. We're Jesse and James. Dibs
Just
on
James is also one person.
But
Yeah, you
just
could-
like
you could have
that,
done-
they're kind
I
of one
believe-
person at the same time.
Bonnie and Clyde. Two Clydes.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is the actual
Yes.
duo.
I
Anubis
should've
is the
said that,
Sundance
'cause
Kid.
Dahlia
Dahlia is
could-
Butch Cassidy.
Exactly.
There you go. That's a new nickname for your character, the Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. So yeah, y'all are in this room. There's the pool that you discovered last time, which has an enzyme in it in very like metallic liquidy form that has the effect of a potion of enlarge reduce, where you can consume it as an action to become large or small. Well, it just basically moves you one size up or down for 1 minute, similar to the enlarge reduce spell.
So that's why Anubis and Karos are so big.
Yes, they are currently enlarged. Them and everything they're wearing.
Everything around us. Yeah. So what triggered us getting into combat was literally just me approaching and then I think touching the suit of armor. Right. We haven't actually futzed around with the
That's right.
large flip
Triggered.
crystal.
Yeah, it was somehow dormant, and then it awakened, and everything went down. But now things are back to calm, and as far as I know, other than the pool in the center, you haven't particularly interacted with much anything.
Yeah, I believe that is correct. Is everyone all right? I am large. Uncomfortable feeling.
I'm pretty good.
Dalio, are you intimidated by my size? It will be okay. We'll work through this. You have to look at me for a chance, huh? It's kind of weird. What does Dalio think of this?
Well, unfortunately, you have the form of what would be a prey animal to him, so
He just
more
thinks-
meat isn't really a problem. He looks, if anything, he seems like he likes you more right now than he did when you were smaller.
Guys, I need to figure out a way to stay this size. Our relationship's actually working pretty well now.
All right. Shall we? Do we want to take a minute to sit down and have a rest, or do we want to continue onward? I believe only our pets got injured that time, but I am relatively low on mana, or however you say in universe that you don't have good spell slots.
Power.
My power is getting low. I need to
I
change
feel
my
like
battery.
that works with your flavor.
Yeah.
Famished. I don't think I could cast another spell.
Well,
Yeah, and your just to confirm, your pets do have hit die that they can use
Right on.
I believe they all have d8s equal to your level, and then you can roll them plus their con mod, and they can recover hit points that way, if you want. They can also be healed normally, with the exception of Raynor, who needs to be healed with Mending Spell.
Which I do not possess. Ba-ba-bow.
You have very limited cantrips. It's fine.
Yeah, I have literally
Kipling's-
2 cantrips, and then I get 1 extra because I am mechanically a high elf.
Does right cantrip for the job get you a new one per long rest, or when do you get?
I think it's per long rest. Let me see.
I'm still not sure it'd be worth it.
Wait,
They're pretty inexpensive to res too.
I don't think I get that actually.
Oh really? Maybe that's a subclass thing.
Yeah, I think it might be a subclass thing.
I might still have the UA Artificer on my mind.
I definitely do. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, it's completely different. Wild. Yes. So I suggest we either have a sit down for an hour, or even maybe we take a full nap.
I would be good for a full nap. I like having my spells back, and I've taken off some spells.
From my recollection, we are not inside of the path right now, and so there's no real reason why we shouldn't be able to just park it here. It's the creature's heart, so it's not, it's not as if the heart has many different stages. It'll be pumping and whatnot, but I don't believe it'll like fill up with any more of this blood-like magma.
Yes,
Hopefully.
I think it.
Kipling, Kipling will wake us up if, the lava, this boiling hot magma around us, if it starts rising. So
I don't believe Raynor sleeps either, so she can't be surprised either if that ever comes up again.
That's right. She's ready to go.
Ready to go, ride or die. Yes. So let's all get in maybe the center platform so that we can defend ourselves and not touch any of those crystals, just in case they, I don't know, explode or something. I would also like to be small.
rides over on Kipling very slowly.
He can only carry people when he's enlarged.
I think he wasn't he?
Well, I
think he
jumped.
was-
I need to
wasn't
make an
he enlarged?
athletics check.
I thought he was big.
I thought he was, but then when we started the campaign, he
I
was.
think he died.
Oh, and you brought him back.
There he goes. Oh, maybe that was it.
Well, either way, with infinite time, you can make your way to the center.
Yeah. Hey guys, throw me an enlarge potion. Okay, give it.
And you guys, after a minute, your
Make me small
enlargement
again.
wears off.
No.
I mean, unless you want to re-up it, but it
Just
won't
keep
last
drinking
through
it.
any sort of rest, unless you sit there drinking it the whole time. And it is
Hey.
not. It is by no means delicious. It is an enzyme produced by a giant worm. It is not a tasty treat.
Probably tastes somewhat snot-like. I would presume.
Yeah, so it's it's lipid based, so it would be like kind of drinking a cup of liquid lard or something.
Gross.
So
My power is flickering, so if I just cut out, I don't.
We'll keep that in mind.
in game or out of game? I'm just kidding.
I did just mention how I needed to replace my batteries in game, so if I just power down.
Companion question. You said you
What's
can
up?
heal them if you use a hit die. Do they also recover on a long rest as well?
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
They go
so-
back to full.
Good to know. All right, so I would be down for long rest if that's what's been established.
Yes, let's go ahead and try for it. It's not the comfiest place in the world, but I do think it'll be better for us to face whatever we might in the future with perhaps a little bit more vim and vigor.
Well, we'll
Yes,
just have
the,
to listen for our heart when it's calling for us to wake up.
We are currently in the heart of darkness.
Yeah, the ground isn't comfy. It's ever so mildly softer than actual rock because it is technically organic. But it is nice and warm in here, so it's comfy in that way. I mean, if you're comfortable sleeping when it's like 86 out or something, but
I am not.
but it's not mechanically damaging to sleep here. Your pets also you can kind of sleep in a lump because they're certainly Raynor has no need for comfort, and you can use her as a pillow or whatever. Kipling likewise is incorporeal; he doesn't
So you
particularly
cannot
care.
use it as a pillow.
But Dalio, he's used to roughing it too, so he doesn't mind if somebody uses him as a pillow or whatever. But yeah, as time ticks by, it does. This chamber seems pretty unchanging. You're able to rest here for a good while, and you go ahead and get your long rest.
Solid.
Sweet.
It's very unchanging, so there's no real indications environmentally of like it's morning now, so you kind of just all rest until you feel good,
Yeah.
and that takes 8 hours.
Well, 4 hours for me.
You can't get a long rest in 4 hours, but you can get a night's sleep in 4
Yeah, you're
hours, right?
Yeah. I still have to chill for the extra 4. It's one of those weird mechanics rules where it's like, why is this even a thing then?
It's like you wouldn't take exhaustion, I think, is
Yeah.
the intent, but mechanically it really doesn't make a lot of difference. You're free to tinker or do any of the artificery things that you might do.
Indeed.
I mean, you're also free to poke around in your environment a little bit if you'd like, or even what did we say happened to the other armor? Did we say it fell in?
I don't
something
rightly
happened.
remember.
You said something happened to it.
I think maybe it did. I think maybe it did fall
I
into
think it did fall
the
in.
lava. I would say that. Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna take this time. It's
Well, you could
really
have a little look around if you don't.
It's not that mechanically different, but I am going to move my shield magic onto my armor. Should I do that? Yeah, I'll do that. My armor's cooler than my shield is. I mean, if we find another eats stuff enemy, I don't really care about my shield in particular. So I do, however, care about my somewhat expensive armor now. So.
But yeah, with your trance ability, I'll say you can go ahead and do either a medicine or nature check if you want to just take those 4 hours to observe your environment whilst you wait for yourself and the others to fully recover.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll make a little natural check. I accidentally made that with advantage, but good thing it was the same. And I got that guidance.
Wow, side effect. I think I'll disallow guidance because you're long resting.
Fair enough.
But that's still a terrific roll. Like I feel like if you're using spells,
I totally get it. Yeah,
it's kind of like that's not really
I was really
resting.
thinking about it.
I'm gonna ritually cast Find Familiar.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you do that, like either at the start or the end of your, towards the start of the end of your rest too.
Okay.
Summon. Old Newt. What form are you doing?
One we've already got a token for.
I've got one for his lizard form or for his bird form.
He's gonna be a little fire newt.
Nice, like Frozen
All
2.
right, there you go. I think you got
There you
control of that too.
I want to send
Awesome.
a prayer up to Uptow when I wake up from my rest.
Okay. I'm just gonna cover Karosa's real quick here.
Mhm.
So as you're looking around, you kind of see the bits and bobs of these floating, uvula type protrusions or however they are, and you see they're vaguely colored in familiar colors to you, and you recall the entrance chamber and how it had not dissimilar aspects to it, and with such a terrific roll, you can kind of surmise that this might be a creature who regularly preys on beings from the path, and that it might have evolved to have similarities due to having these collections of three remarkable people within it so often that its body has actually changed to accommodate path similar mechanics.
That makes sense.
And by that, you can feel like, oh, this is probably a being that does interact with the path.
Yeah.
On the reg.
Preying on path residents.
And actually, Amubis, I don't even need to check for that, because you do indeed have a dream whilst you sleep, whilst you long rest. We're gonna just pop over here.
Whoa.
What is just for a dreamscape.
Am I gonna fight somebody again?
Let's do this. Okay. And your dream begins similarly to previous dreams you've had, where it is a first-person perspective. You sit across from this masked humanoid, a tribal-looking mask to it, beads around its neck. This is a being that you can recognize as your religious sect's opinion of what Uptow would look like. And before you is a maze. And, as you look around, as in previous streams you've had, it's kind of like a jungle around this maze, but you yourself are many, many stories tall. So you and Uptow appear to be giant, and you sit before a giant maze. And keeping with what happened in the previous stream, this maze is now set down into the... Actually, I think last time it rose up. So you can see that now it has set down. Where it was previously above ground level, it is now below ground level. And as it's set in the ground, somewhere near the center of this maze, there are the red, blue, and yellow that you saw in the previous stream. And you and Uptow both seem to be watching intently these beings. But as you watch, from in the jungle, a snake in proportion to you, that would be enormous, were it in proportion to the jungle, slithers onto the path and swallows the beads. And as you watch this happen, you can see your fist clench in fury. As it unclenches, your hand reach to the side, to the right of you. And the first person perspective you have, you see the head turn, and as you reach to the right of you, stretching on seemingly towards infinity, there are identical mazes in this endless jungle. Hundreds of them, perhaps, that stretch out farther across the horizon than you can see. And on your right, you can see a pile of beads, of red, blue, and yellow beads. And you reach out to take fresh from this pile. As you reach, you see a chain spring up from out of the ground. It takes hold of your wrist and stops you from reaching fully. And as you look back, you can see Uptow's outstretched hand, as if to command these chains. And as he lowers his hand, you retract yours as well. The chain releases you. You return to your seated position. Uptow now reaches down into the maze. 2 fingers strokes the head of the snake, which immediately falls asleep. He then sets both his hands on his knees where he sat, Indian style, and raises his head to look. He's completely masked, but points his face straight at you. And as you see in this first-person perspective, you see your hands relax sit up on your knees as well. Then you awake.
Very interesting.
And we'll return to that.
Gentlemen, is everybody else awake? Are people?
Yes.
I've been awake for hours.
You'll awake at a similar time.
What a peaceful sleep.
Yeah, basically you can see Kuros. I assume you take notes of some sort.
Yeah, I think it's been established that I have a little journal that I jot down in sometimes, because I have handed some of my notes to Chief Mechanier Thermoplug or
Indeed.
whatever.
Chief Higgins.
Chief
I
Higgins.
believe. And you can see Alibaba ritual casting to summon Newt.
I kind of wave to get their attention, and Anubis goes, I had a vision that I want to share with the both of you. I think it has some meaning to our predicament here. You can come too, Dalio.
You're not often one for proselytizing, but I'll listen. Sure. I haven't tried to convert me yet, so
feel there is some meaning behind this. That's why I share. But I'm not a man of science, and he kind of gestures to you a little bit, and then he goes, I had a vision that we were on the path, and I saw us being consumed by where we are now, and I kind of gesture around in the room. And it seems that this beast in my vision or dream or whatever you would call it was being put to sleep, and that we have some sort of chance. I feel conviction that we may need to act swiftly to get out of here, because we've been given an opportunity that we shouldn't pass up.
So the beast is currently falling asleep, or will fall asleep at a designated time? Sleeping currently.
In my vision, and I mean, quite honestly, we haven't experienced a lot of movement in here, right?
No, it's fair.
Like maybe a deep sleep, perhaps.
So we're in the heartbeat right now. We're in the heart, right?
Correct.
What's the heartbeat situation like? Are the walls moving? Anything like that?
So no, not as such. It seems like it's more the lava-like blood that moves without an explicit pumping mechanism. That it flows at regular intervals. It changes in volume somewhat, not a super relevant amount, but it kind of ebbs and flows, maybe 2 or 3 feet.
It's being let in and out by those sphincters that we encountered, right? Yeah, cool.
Yep. And the intake where you arrived, I believe, was in this top right, and the outlet seems to be on the top left there, kind of behind where that blue thing is.
Okay. Well, this is certainly an interesting proposition. Yes, we should definitely get going. I am wildly curious what these stone things are. I do believe that they have a connection to the path. My brief amount of research has, it seems to point to the beast in the path having developed a sort of predator-prey relationship of a sort. So I don't know exactly what these would be, but
perhaps this is what is broken the path. Possibly this is why people are stuck so often. I wonder this.
Yes, it is. It's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about the path maybe perhaps not working as intended currently. I kind of assumed that this was just how the path worked, but it's possible that it's meant to be a bit more helpful than it is currently.
I want to do my daily, my session frequent joke where I walk up closer and I go, Alibaba, that was a great insight. Where would we be without you? And I tap you a little bit. And I was like, I'm so glad you're in this for the long haul with all three
Oh
of
yes,
us.
of course. I would never consider leaving the group.
We would be quite literally lost without you.
Yes, I would not doom you to eternity stuck in a maze for, millennia. Of course. Even if my children's very lives are on the line.
Well, that's a kind and specific and maybe a bit much thing to say.
I haven't really been thinking about it, It's just
Let's
came
see,
up
let's
now.
see.
So.
It slipped out. I am curious to get closer to wee.
Kipling does a very unsubtle wink at Alibaba.
I like the. Can I just comment on the artwork real quick? That yellow stone in the top right, I can't not see the Power Rangers logo.
Yeah,
It kind of look like that.
it's very what is it? Saitan? What's it called?
Oh, Saibon.
Saibon, thank you. Yes, so I'm going to have a little investigate of
Which who's like Saban's like a normal American dude. Like he's not Japanese at all, which is kind of
really?
funny. Yep.
That's hilarious that he
Saban is like the American branch of Power Rangers. It has nothing to do
Oh,
with Japan.
okay, interesting. I kind of assumed since the name sounds very Japanese that
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, it was just
that he was like the Sentai
he's
guy.
a normal American dude.
Should
Normal
we
American
stand
man.
by our stones? I kind of yell to the group.
I'd like to look at them first.
I think
So I'm going to give it a quick.
Alibaba at some point is going to do an Arcana check, or an attempt to see if there's any kind of magical connections between these things.
I'm going to make a more generalized investigation to just poke around them.
Sure. 21. And you can do yours as well, Alibaba, should you like.
So I'm gonna do.
Man, you have a good bonus on that too.
Yeah.
I want to
Just a
do
poor roll.
some sort
Should
of.
have gotten some help from Newt.
Oh,
Never mind.
Okay.
I won't even describe what I do.
Yeah, you can roll again if you want to have Newt help you. He can poke around.
That's
Oh
Newt.
my goodness.
Nice. Good
Newt, what a champion.
Newt single-handedly solves the mystery.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, note to self: don't let familiars help with our mental checks. But we'll let it happen on this one.
He's kind of crawling all over it.
Yeah, so he goes to crawl on it, and Newt, being a being from the Fey Wild, he's kind of drawn to magical essence, and he kind of, like the way he walks on it and stuff, helps you make some conclusions. Amubis, we'll start with the lowest here. Amubis, as far as historically, there's no precedent for this. You have not heard of such a beast. This appears to be like known to the path and little else. Some of what Narangwe said, you're kind of reminded of, where this is a being that exists somewhere outside the path, but still seems to be on whatever plane that the path chooses to manifest itself on. So it's a being that doesn't seem to have contact with the traditional material world, at least not the sort of Midgard area that you live on. The Forgotten Realms or whatever. I don't know what the sort of main world is called.
Faerun, or the material plane.
The material plane. I like that. And then, Kroos, as you investigate, you can see I think I might have seen this last time, but I'll talk about it again as part of what I'm saying here. There are scratches and scorches on the ground around these areas, as if there have been fights here before, because they're not from the combat you've had. There's evidence that other fights between powerful beings may have gone on here. And you can certainly see that here around this area, they're more concentrated than sort of the, inter areas where you traverse. Like the combat seems to be focused on this, on this area. You don't know about the others, but you know around the blue one for sure. And then Alibaba, as you investigate this red glowing, not really rock, because as I've said before, they're more like uvulas. They do come out of the ground. They're connected to the ground, as opposed to what the image implies. But you can tell by the way this thing glows and by the kind of energy that you can feel moving through it, especially like you found that the way you interact with magic since receiving your kind of pact from Jedi, that sort of magic feels like heat to you. That places of warmth, you can tell that's where magic is emanating. Especially since, as a tiefling, normal warmth isn't necessarily a huge register for you with your resistance to fire. That magic starts to feel like warmth. And you can feel from the warmth of this thing, it's already activated. You gather that it's some sort of magical mechanism that had some sort of requirement on it, but it's been used.
I see. Can I tell if the others have been?
You can tell that they seem to be glowing with the same intensity as this one.
Okay.
But without getting closer, you can't be sure of that. I told my music to loop. There we go.
Yeah, the tension really built up when the music dropped off right after that.
I mean, yeah, it was cool. So we'll fire it back up, and I'll save the music dropping.
We'll say it was intended.
I wonder if there's a way to interrupt this magic. I kind of explained to Karos and Amubis, that there appears to be magic emanating.
Yeah, y'all are certainly within shouting distance.
Yeah. They appear to be magically activated.
So they're activated already?
Yes, they are already on, if you will. But I wonder if we can turn them off.
Ow! Any suggestions?
What do we want to... We could certainly break them.
I like that idea.
Yeah, Amubis, just hit it and see what happens.
All right, I do strike.
Yeah, so move us do it.
As you strike it with your spiked shield, it's a similar effect to as if you had jammed it into rock. It clinks off of it.
That didn't go anywhere, folks. Just
That's fair.
it didn't go in. It banged off the side. That's a negative.
Yeah, because it's been a while and it wouldn't be in y'all's world, you kind of remember from the mouth section that it was an example of your magic that activated those ones.
Well, I will
I will attempt to...
Eldritch Blast this
You wanna
thing. I just figured
Sounds good.
I got the cantrip.
Yeah, you don't have to roll for attack. It's just right there, so you can easily hit it.
Well, good, because those are bad.
Yeah.
No, as your magic strikes it, it goes from solid glowing to blinking. But other than that, nothing else happens.
I use Sacred Flame on mine.
It also goes from solid glowing to blinking.
Do we need to coordinate our strikes?
And I one punch man it with booming blade.
Yep. And yours also goes to blinking. Their blinking synchronizes, and then they all dim to. They're still the colors they are, but instead of glowing, they're just matte. And the vat in the center that holds the enzyme slides shut.
That's a shame.
I feel like maybe that was a bad idea.
Oh, I don't know if it was a bad idea, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try booming blading it again, just out of curiosity.
Begins blinking again.
We can turn them back on. Maybe it rotates around through different enzymes. Try it again.
All right, a Sacred Flame.
Yours begins blinking.
And Alibaba Eldritch blasts.
And as they all blink and then solidly turn on again, the well once again opens up.
Interesting.
Is there an order or something we have to do?
I don't know. It would seem odd if we had done it in the exact same order as they did it last time. And the pool is not terribly deep, is it?
You didn't really like test its depth.
Jump in it.
It's full of enlarged reduced potion, which is very very particularly thick, like thicker even than like maple syrup. You know, it's almost more like
non-Newtonian.
Yeah, almost like that.
Adamantium.
No.
I mean,
I'm gonna have-
like a liquid fat. Basically.
No, do you want to go down the
Go down the fat chute, Newt.
the chute? So
SHOOT.
yeah, I encourage Newt to
Sacrifice
explore
itself.
the this
hey,
pit
Pete.
here.
Sorry, stream things interrupting real quick. It looks like maybe we started to go to a little circle bar, or are other people seeing it go fine?
Looks normal on my end.
Yeah.
Normal? Okay.
I've
Might have
got
been my fault.
good
Let me
frame.
relaunch it just to make sure.
Good
Yep, my bad.
numbers.
All right, stream. Must have just been me.
But we do want to
But
say hi
continue.
to everyone in the chat and the viewers. Hi.
Try it again.
Anybody want to
Thank
comment? Feel
you.
free.
And YouTube when you can.
Tonnages, Jasmine, Commander Root, Battle Armor. You are Battle Armor. Another TV viewer.
So, Alibaba, what's Newt doing?
He is attempting to swim down and find out what's at the bottom of this pool.
Okay. Does anyone know the breath holding rules? Something to do with your con mod, but I don't remember what exactly.
Yeah,
I think it's
really-
1 plus your con mod. Or maybe just your con mod amount of minutes.
Number of minutes 1 plus Constitution modifier, minimum 30 seconds. So what's the Constitution modifier on Newt?
Is
Let's
he
have
a
a
wizard?
gander. He is his. So his is 0, so he can hold his breath for 1 minute. So are you gonna have him dive straight down for 1 minute, or do you want to have him dive down for 30 seconds and potentially come back up?
The 30 seconds.
Here's a quick thing. Raina doesn't have to breathe, so it might be a better idea to send her down. Although we wouldn't be able to see.
Newt kind of irritatingly looks over at Rainer and waddles back away from the pit.
It might be slightly better. So I'm gonna have Rainer go down. I'm gonna tell her to try to find the bottom. But if she can't within 5 minutes to come back.
All right. So she will go ahead and dive in the pit. I would say it's like more than 5, but less than 10-foot diameter. So she can fit down it. But it's fairly narrow for something her size. And I will say that as she enters the pool, she's gonna have to pick either enlarge, reduce will happen to her.
Yeah, she will reduce because
Okay. So she
can
goes
physiologically
from
fit down. Yeah.
a medium size to a small size. So normally
She's a little kitten.
I don't know, like 4 foot long or something. So she'll shrink down to about 1 foot, and dive downward. It's opaque, so she can't see. Technically she could hear. I think hearing's probably like the only sense that would probably work, other than feeling. So
Other than feline.
feline.
Probably not.
Yeah,
if
why
it's
don't you
that
go to
thick, right?
let's just do a disadvantage perception check for her to find her way down this pit. I think that's reasonable.
9.
All right, so she can kind of feel her way down the side, which at first matches the entrance, but it does actually widen as she goes down a little bit. And she is able to. She's got pretty low intelligence, doesn't she? I'm trying to remember which ones are smart and which ones are dumb.
It's 4.
Yeah, she has pretty low intelligence. So she's gonna follow the wall. That's kind of gonna be her move there. So as she dives down the pit, kind of the wall that is to her belly, she'll just follow as she goes down, kind of placing one paw over another. And with her being a foot long, she's not exactly sure how far she goes. But as she goes down, she can kind of she can feel the wall curve a little bit as it goes down, curve forward, kind of like it's bottoming out. But exactly when she hits the time you said, she swims straight upwards and out of the pond. So she kind of climbs out, shakes off, and then if you want to ask her questions, I can just kind of give you affirmative, negative type responses.
Yeah.
She's capable of understanding language, but not speaking.
So that whole time you were just swimming sort of downward and you didn't find the bottom?
She'll kind of turn her head, like she can't really answer that straight.
But you were moving for the full 5 minutes in a sort of general downward direction and did not encounter the bottom, correct?
She'll once again kind of cock her head, like can't really answer that straight.
Perhaps I'm phrasing these incorrectly.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Did you reach the bottom?
I mean, she'll literally shrug, like she's not sure if she did.
Not sure if there is a bottom.
With how thick the fluid was, it was a little bit hard to tell how much she had curved. So as she went down, she wasn't going straight down. At a certain point, she was leveling out somewhat, but she wasn't sure if she leveled out fully, basically.
That makes sense. Okay, well, I'm not certain that we'd be able to swim down there with my breath. I mean, I might be able to do it, but
also I don't have a way of reducing her. But just for the next minute, she's reduced.
Well,
She can re-drink the potion to counteract it,
to get big again, but not a huge reason to. I will keep Tiny Kitty.
But I'll say because someone specific isn't casting it, other than re-drinking the potion, it lasts a full minute.
Fair enough. Well, that's an option, is going down there, but I'm not certain that it's the best one. Can we try to close it up again and maybe, I don't know, investigate the platform on top? So is it like when we were looking over when we closed it before, is it like an aperture, or is it like a platform like it looks like?
Yeah, it's flat. Um, it's it's similar to the sphincters you've seen before. Like it is, it has
Okay.
a fleshy way of closing.
Okay, so
Um,
probably not terribly important.
it seems to be more of a seal than it is,
Yeah.
like a interactable thing.
Sounds good.
Its function seems to be to close and open the pit.
I fell in the pit. Oh, any ideas about what we ought to be doing? I'm not entirely certain that Raynor, you know, I love her, but not certain she explored that the best. But I'm also not certain that any one of us would do much better with breathing and whatnot.
Is there anything mechanical that you can do or create or tinker that would help map out this well?
Not particularly. I can do several small things and create little things that look like other things or smell like other things or sound like me, but
I
nothing that would be some form of submersible or anything like that.
I we have not ruled out what happens when it closes. I mean,
No,
it might
it could
close
possibly
and
flush
then
or
it's
something like that.
empties, you know.
It's possible, certainly. If we'd like to, we could close it in on somebody and then reopen it and let them tell us. Perhaps this is a job for Newt, as we can see a little bit better. I'm gonna take. I'm sure I have like a little like ribbon or something like that, and I'm going to magically tinker it to emit light. It is a very small. It's bright light 5 foot, dim light for another 5.
Okay,
But I'm gonna tie it around. I'm gonna tie it around Newt like a little bow tie.
sounds good.
So he has a little bright light bow tie.
Look and fly. All right. Well, he kind of goes out into the middle and just kind of floats there.
I'll even say it's a little tiny lizard headlamp
Ah,
where
adorable.
he's got it around his head and it points the light out forward.
Our brave adventurer.
Fantastic.
It makes me think of that game
Yep.
where it's the toads that explore. Was it the Dungeoneering the Mario game where there's the toads with the headlamps?
Oh, Captain Toad Treasure
Yeah,
Tracker.
yeah, it makes
Yeah.
me think of that. Just
Yeah, for sure.
Extremely similar. He can't jump. He's just can just move along a 2D plane.
Good stuff. Okay, we shove Newt in the hole and close the hole up.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all know the mechanics, so we're not gonna like RP opening and closing the hole. Y'all can just do it whenever all of you agree to do it. So Newt goes down there. Yeah, with how thick the fluid is, even with light, he doesn't have any visibility. You can still experience through his senses. Like I said, sound is kind of the only thing that carries very well through this fluid. And as far as what he can hear, you can give me a perception check. We'll do no disadvantage on this just because he's just hearing.
Okay, I can't roll his perception right now.
You can't? Do you not have access to his character sheet?
You can just click on.
Yeah, if
Well,
you just
I've got
click.
the Raven version. You know,
Do you not have the lizard one? Here, let me make sure. Oh, okay. I didn't put it in your journal, but I gave you control over.
Wow.
Okay, there you
Lizards
go.
have really truly bad stats.
Yeah, so you can just do.
okay. He has
alright.
no.
He's actually a -1 rather than a +3.
I'm
So
just
that's
gonna
gonna
roll
be
a d20. I can't find the option. All right.
yeah. If you just click Wisdom, he doesn't have explicit percent. I'll let you
Okay,
use.
so
I'll let you use your first roll, which
he
is
rolled a.
moderately better. So we'll say he
A
has a
9
9 instead of a 2. But as he just kind of floats there, like arms akimbo, um, just floating as a lizard would in a vat of opaque fluid, he can kind of hear the ebb and flow of the heart's fluids moving about. But other than that, he doesn't have any experience. The fluid around him doesn't seem to be moving. But
Okay.
he's kind of at a loss here. He's not.
He's not having a great time.
Okay.
No, even Rainer was more equipped to do this than he.
Newt, get back. Everybody, shoot the things again. We have to get him out.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to release
All right.
him before his breath runs out. With his full 30 seconds of breath or whatever. No, he has a full minute. So yeah, he
Wow.
climbs out of the fluid. I mean, you technically could have enlarged or reduced him, and it wouldn't have made a huge amount of difference. I should have
Enlarged
asked
into
you,
small.
but yeah, he's enlarged into small. We'll say that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now he's about a foot long instead of 3 inches like he normally is. He's a big old lizard.
So that did not work. I have one more idea, unless you all have some other idea that might work.
I mean, my idea is that I could go down there. I'd have about 5 minutes of exploration time. I'd need to come up after about 2.5, but I can hold my breath for an exceptionally long time in here. In my suit.
I don't
Okay.
do well in strange fluids.
I do great in strange fluids.
Hey,
Then go for it, pal.
What was your idea, Alibaba? Before I go dipping my head in.
maybe we take this fluid and shrink the. See if we can
Pump it out.
shrink these nodes. Throw the potion on them. I don't know.
I've got a vial right here that I could attempt. I just pour some of the enzyme on one of the nodes, I guess.
As you pour it on, it kind of runs off, and based on your knowledge of potions, you're like, this probably needs to be a creature for this to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Because it's like an enzyme, so
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is technically a creature, but it would be shrinking the whole thing, and I don't think we want to get into that territory.
yeah. See, this creature's so far beyond creaturehood. It's basically an environment of its own.
Immune to things that target creatures. Well, I suppose I will give this a shot.
I'm such a bad.
I have my helmet that I'm gonna close.
I go over to his helmet when he closes it. Can I touch it and invoke light on him?
Yes.
Okay, I do that.
Yeah, certainly. He most everything he has is an item of some sort. So certainly light.
Yes, I have many
an
items on me.
applicable target for it. And as long as you can get them at range, you don't have to be right next to the thingamajobs.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, just go ahead. You can go ahead and move yourself over to where he is if that's what you want to do.
Okay, I'll do that. May this help you?
It may or may not. We'll see.
I move back.
Light's a cool spell. Light. So you're going to go diving.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little spelunk myself.
Are you gonna do it with them open, or are you gonna have everybody close it on you?
I'm just putting that in the chat for reference purposes.
I don't. There you go. 1 hour.
Goodbye.
I do not believe that I could get me back out if we closed it on top of me. So
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm kind of thinking about, because yeah, it's kind of you who needs to do it.
yeah.
I know it's a little metagaming there, but
No, I was not planning on closing
I
it on
think
top of
like
myself.
you're yeah. So you could just leave it open though and go down and make your character.
Yes.
Nothing Rainer or Newt discovered implied that anything happened when it was closed.
Do we
Yeah,
need to get a rope? And
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
I don't have one in my inventory though. Yeah, I don't have like a Dungeoneer's pack or anything. I don't have that.
Let me see what I have in my pack here. He's, you know, Baba's just throwing things out of his pack, looking for stuff.
I have a sensor, which could help.
The crowbar? Would the crowbar help?
How about I just go ahead and go down, and I'll just make it out. I'll be fine.
All right. So yeah, you choose enlarge, reduce. So presumably reduce, as enlarge, you would no longer fit in the hole.
Indeed.
And I don't know the ruling on enlarge, reduce in that context.
It enlarges you up to the maximum that you can be in a space.
Sounds horrible.
So being kind of
in this context, being the exact dimensions of this hole does not sound very comfortable.
No, indeed. Yeah, I'll be small. I'll be a little guy.
It doesn't reduce your movement or anything, so shockingly.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so as you dive down the hole, you are reduced. Your visibility is restricted as all the others were. You're effectively blinded. But you can hear and you can touch, and you're smarter than anyone who's gone down there so far. So you can go ahead and give me a perception check, or yeah, you know, and give me a perception. That's good. I think that's the best application. Hey, not bad.
Just for funsies.
Dirty 20. That's what we call those. Yeah, so as you go down, I'll say you kind of elect to do the same thing Rainer did at first to see what she was experiencing, and you follow the wall down. And as you follow the wall down, you do feel it start. So it goes straight down the dimensions of the hole for a little bit, and you can actually make the evaluation based on your reduced size, unlike Rainer, of how far you're going. And you estimate it's 6 foot or so down. It matches the dimensions, and then it begins to open up a bit. So it widens as it goes lower. And you continue feeling along the wall as it widens, and you feel the curve kind of flatten. And after an additional, I'd say 10 feet or so, you can feel a definitive bottom.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, almost imagine like a thermometer, like it's a thinner portion with a bulbous portion on the bottom that does flatten out.
Okay. I'm gonna try to feel my way around the bottom a little bit here.
Yeah, as you feel around, it appears to be just a kind of basin. As you kind of feel rather than a moving kind of feel, you stay in one place and feel around the area. You can feel, even in your small state, they're maybe a little bit smaller than your finger size holes that you believe are producing this enzyme. But it is a closed basin. There are no channels out of this area.
Right on. Okay. Unless I have heard anything that piqued my interest in character,
You just hear kind of what Alibaba described Newt hearing. You can hear the flow of the heart and in a kind of beating pattern, but rather than like a doom doom of like a human heart, it's more like a of just fluid moving.
Right on. Okay. Well then I'm gonna push off the bottom and start heading back up then.
Sure.
Maybe I'll try to push my way to the other side just to make sure there's nothing interesting there. If I've still got
Yeah, I
time
think
to
you've
go.
got plenty of time with a maximum like 16-foot depth of this thing. You can pretty much explore it. With 5 minutes. You can explore it pretty easily and see that it's just a basin.
Cool. Okay. I will head out then.
Yep. Little OU comes climbing out. And
Well,
you're free to consume more of it if you want to return to your medium size.
Yeah, I will undo my helmet and just get a little spoonful and take it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like frosting.
Yeah,
Kinda
so it's
seems
like
it sometimes.
if you don't want to consume it, you can be completely submerged in it.
Mm. Well,
But
I just
that's
was.
generally like a less efficient manner than consuming it.
Yeah.
But that's why it's involuntary when you go in it. It's because when you're completely,
You just have to do it anyway.
it happens to you, or you can
Right.
consume it to have a more acute application.
Well, I think that's rather it then. That it's just the enzyme production. I'm going to take a few more bottles of it, but it seems like perhaps this is just maybe a form of mechanism that we'll encounter again at some point in the worm, and now we know how to use it, which is convenient. We can activate certain things by triggering the. I am curious though. Does it work with non-art colors? Alibaba, could you shoot mine?
So Alibaba shoots his with Eldritch Blast.
It does not react.
Wow, good to know. Yes, well, I'll move this. I forget. Did you get any indication of where we should be moving if we're to take advantage of the creature's slumber? Anubis.
What?
He's gone.
Oh no, he fell.
I got distracted by my stone.
I was saying, did you get any indication of where your god directed us to go or whatever to take advantage of this slumber? If we're still heading towards the head, which I think was maybe what we're doing.
The dream, you're not gonna like my interpretation of it, quite honestly. The dream seemed like Uptow was, quote unquote, handling it. I wish I was more helpful.
So we're just going to wait for further instructions, or
No, I think we need to continue onwards. I mean, Uptow is a enigma, quite literally, and
How do we get out of here?
but he's also a god that is oversees things. So we need to make our own movement, as I guess what I'm trying to suggest.
your god helps those who help themselves.
Exactly. That you said it a lot better.
How very
Well.
godly of him.
Wonderful. I suppose I admire that. All right. Well,
Teach a
if
man
we're
to
going-
fish and all that.
Yes. I don't know how to fish. If we're going to go ahead and do that, then it's off that way. Yes. We got the output valve, or would we like to backtrack a little bit and explore the other way? I'm more inclined to keep heading, forward and not backtrack. But anyone?
I have no idea.
It's
Let's go forward.
If we continue, I feel if we continue further towards its tail, we may encounter...
No more talking. Let's go.
Okay.
yes, we are attempting to go buttward.
Forward. Is this the way to go forward?
We can go buttward or headward.
You can do a medicine check if you want to.
I have jumped
Get
across the
some
chasm.
directional guidance here. 17.
Yeah.
So knowing basic biology, just because knowing how things work. If you enter through a sort of right ventricle from the body area, a left ventricle might head towards the lungs, which is where Narangwe implied you ought to go.
I don't trust Nirwangwe.
Why? Because he's a drider?
Ooh, racist.
Just because he's an objectively evil creature? Like, you just have to play him dirty like that? Without even knowing what Narangwe means?
Could we possibly head to the lungs and then maybe escape an airway? I like that exit strategy than, the rectum. Because as they say in the old country, rectum damn near killed them. And it may kill us too.
As they say in the country, rectum, I barely know.
I do not.
We gotta be careful, guys. I
understand
marked one of the
Eastern.
tags as family friendly. We gotta be careful. with
We
our
were up until
butt
that
humor.
We're good. We're good characters too, apparently.
Yes, we are.
You're
Oh,
good
all right.
at-
Then. Yeah,
You're
let's
pretty goodish.
let's headward.
I can't move past this white area.
Can't move. Yeah, so there as you move through there, it's a fairly decent sized tunnel as opposed to when you were like pressing through the stomach. And this is indeed the left ventricle. And you move forward. 1 second.
Is it like just a? Is it like a big?
Completely unfamiliar map.
Never seen this before in our lives.
I feel
Never.
as if
I had a
feel
flipped
he-
version of it, but I ended up turning it into a different map, so forgive me. It would have looked so very different. But here, as you move forward, you can see the tunnel begin to narrow. So two things happen. The tunnel begins to drastically narrow and also get quite a bit colder.
Do we
Temperature
need the
drops
potion?
from like probably the high 80s, which is where it had been like throughout the heart and most of the arteries that you've moved through so far. And it drops to probably like the 60s towards the part you can reach. And you can see that it's rapidly approaching a point where medium creatures may not be able to pass.
Oh. Well, possibly it's a good idea that I did bring a couple of potions of the enzyme, but not a whole lot. I think I picked up 3.
Well, goodbye, Kipling.
Yeah, if you continue onward, basically everyone who wants to pass will need to be small.
Make me small again. Well, let's head back and grab some more potions.
I won't make you RP that, but you certainly have plenty of files, as we've established. You have a multitude due to the blood requirement of the path.
Indeed.
And you can easily collect as many potions as you want, basically.
I'll get enough for a good few doses for the whole lot of us.
Okay. Well, let's say like 20 or so, 24.
Yeah, we'll say 24 because it's That's
3
4.
doses each. 4 doses each.
I think that's 4 doses each because we're 6 medium creatures.
Sounds good. All right, so you collect several doses, and you have a timeline on them as well, knowing that it lasts a minute.
Yeah.
He's our DM and our pharmacist, folks.
That pusher love.
And certainly a more licensed pharmacist than my character in the other campaign.
Who was a pharmacist?
He just had a bit of ketamine on him. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He's referencing our Kaiju Slayer campaign, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, folks.
You can
Shameless
catch
plug.
up.
Equally family friendly. It's
You
just,
too.
It did. It had the
Just a-
same
just a
tag.
small-
just a joke.
A small amount of ketamine, but equally as family. They
Uses
use
it-
ketamine as a horse tranquilizer. That's
Yeah,
family friendly.
they use it as anesthesia for like dental surgery. He's a
Yeah.
dentist. Don't worry about it. But yes, once you are small, you can continue onward, should you wish.
Yeah, I hand everyone some vials so that as we go, we can keep downing them.
Cool.
We'll
Yeah,
sprint.
the companions cannot hold one themselves, but you can certainly apply it to them with ease.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really capable of using items per se.
I make Raynor hold it in her jaws and then just crush it when she needs to.
Nice. Like it. And once again, Dalio limited by his fleshy
Yeah. What
body.
a
It's okay. He has the highest AC and HP and attack.
Yeah, very very strong, but also mortal.
Alas, indeed. So yeah, you're able to continue onward, where it continues getting colder and colder as you feel a kind of breeze start to ebb and flow, and you can sense you approach the wings of the creature.
Yeah.
And we'll just recycle our music. We're gonna change maps. And you find yourself in a much larger area than you previously were. And in this area, you can see in the distance some strange figures.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling. It's Fraser Waller.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs. They calling again.
You can see kind of taking it easy, 3 figures up ahead.
Have they acknowledged us, or are they backs turned to us?
The backs are not turned to you, but you know what? Give me a perception check to see if they have noticed thou or not. You can also decide whether you want to be stealthy.
I'm no good at it, but I think I probably do. Just gonna sort of hunker down right
Or
where
y'all
I am.
are free to give it a go.
You know I gotta make that stealth check with disadvantage. Ah, that was actually pretty good.
Hey, that's terrific for disadvantage, not very high stealth check.
Uh,
Equal to Mr. +5 over here.
I know. Guys,
Don't blow
I
the
see someone. Guys, like just a little loud, but like the
Don't
hush
blow the
yelling.
throat, that was
Are you also going to stealth? Blah, 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 blah?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I will be very stealthy.
Hey,
Oh, he's super stealthy.
19.
+4 getting
my
into there.
passive perception.
Alright.
I am
Yeah.
the darkness.
Sorry,
He kind of
I'm clicking on things, you know.
considers casting a
Always
spell,
clicking.
but then he's like, oh, I'm too good. I don't need a spell.
Yeah, they are just chilling. They don't appear to notice you.
Okay. Um,
What are we going
can I
to
do a
Are
little
they-
perception on them?
Could I tell if they were looking in
Yeah.
a certain direction or if they?
Well, Amubis did a perception. But yeah, so you're free to do his perception as well, Alibaba. So as you do perception, you can see that they are talking amongst themselves a little bit. And they do appear to be facing stage right. And you can see a Alibaba can. I mean, Amubis can see. I don't know if Alibaba can see. You can see there is a
Loot.
somewhat slight man with his hood up, and he's saying, "I think perhaps we ought to make our way out before too long." And there's someone in a combination of bronze armor and robes, and saying, "Yes, this is not a place to stay too long." And and there is a somewhat like a minotaur, but more like ram kind of look to him, and Egyptian type garb, saying, "Well, I for one don't mind the cold here."
I turn to the other two and I say, "Hi, guys. There's this story we would tell around the church, and it's called a shadow link, and I think we found our evil doppelgangers."
I was just going to say, handsome devils, aren't they? Shall we? I'm not inclined to not just go up and say hello. Most people in groups of 3 we've found have at least been amicable. I imagine they're fellow pathwalkers. I don't know exactly, why their aesthetic is similar to ours, but I'm sure it's purest coincidence.
I'm gonna do an insight real quick. At a Steve's fishing.
On what? What are you trying to see?
I'm trying to see if they seem like they're waiting on something to spring a trap, or if they just seem like generally on the level.
All right, you can
Does that
go
make
roll an
sense?
insight.
Okay.
Terrific insight.
I'm trying to sense if they're gonna like jump us, basically.
They appear to be resting. So if you had to guess, based on also being adventurers, you would guess that they are towards the end of a long rest.
Okay. All right.
They don't appear to be doing much of anything. They're just having a long rest.
Could we possibly? I turn to Karasai and I say, could we possibly leave our companions on the ridge in case we were to give any trouble? Maybe surprise our enemies.
That sounds like a good idea. We can have them flank around or something.
Now, I will say, Alibaba, if y'all are going to move from your position, you'll have to do another stealth check. The initial stealth check was just that no one's aware of you arriving in this room. Any further movement will require another stealth check.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI.
Well, I think we cautiously approach and look non-threatening, or at least I will. But I will tell Dalio to lay in wait. I say, Dalio, there could be a fight, so get ready. I know. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Do you
want to fight, boy?
boy? Do you want to bite someone?
Hey, boy?
Yeah. All right, just stay.
He's like doing that thing where they like spread out their paws and duck their head, like want to play.
Just lay in wait for the attack. I'll give you the signal.
Yeah, so I'll leave Rainer up here as well with Dalio. I don't believe that trying to make our way down there stealthily will work too terribly well. If you haven't noticed, I make a lot of noise when I do anything. So So I think just looking relatively non-threatening will be probably our play here.
Okay.
Maybe even announcing our presence a little bit before we appear.
Okay. I make my way like halfway down the ridge and watch them to see if they see me.
Are you going to be moving stealthily?
No, I'm going to be moving casually.
Then they
Going to
will
be moving
indeed notice you.
casually.
I throw up like a wave, and I just say, "Hello
Um,
there."
And the one in armor in the center will say, "Oh, don't move any farther.
All right.
Hello.
Who are you and why are you here?"
Well, I imagine we're here for the same reasons you are. Digested, mostly.
I see. Were you also plucked from the path?
Yes. How long have you been here? We were not aware that there were that many other groups in here.
Oh, well, we moved to the heart maybe a day or so ago. It's not been too long.
Oh, well, we just come from the heart ourselves. That's
I
don't like
this. I'm not sure about other people being here with us.
Guys, I like the vibe for the one in the middle.
it. We're not on the path anymore, so we don't have to worry about upsetting it by traveling in groups larger than 3 or anything like that. So
I'm
I-
still up here.
Wow, that
Okay.
well, that's
they
of
don't.
course.
They don't know I'm here, so just
Well, that's of course true.
don't talk to me.
We do have to worry about dying, of course. So it's perfectly normal to be on higher alert than we perhaps would be in path.
yes, of course. But all the more reason to travel together. I see no reason why fellow pathwalkers can't walk the worm as well.
I don't know. From what I've seen, 3 appears to be the number. Yes, I don't know if he should risk being more than 3.
All right, I do have to ask because it is upsetting me now. Why are we so? Why are our groups so similar?
I've been wondering that myself. It's almost as if
We're shifted ever so slightly to the left, but we're still ourselves.
yes, that's not a bad assessment.
What's your name? I'm Karis Fester.
I am Karen Faymoon.
Yeah, that's a bit. Even that's a bit similar. Where are you from? I'm from the Ovarial City. Golly, I can't remember what it's called.
I don't think we ever named it.
Erie? I think we maybe called it the Erie,
I like that.
like EYRIE or something like that.
Yeah, I actually remember that now. Yeah, I too am from the area. I am one of the high priests there.
Oh, I never got much involved with the church. My father was a bit of an apostate. We're tinkerers, he and I, as you can see by my elaborate armor set.
I am somewhat of an armorer myself. I have tinkered with the many items I have found over my long career of pilfering.
Did you happen to see or create that set of armor that was in the heart?
No, we had to fight our way here.
We had to fight a little bit, but it was a set of armor and a large demon. I was wondering if that was perhaps a vestige of some previous travelers who had come through here.
It certainly could be. I definitely saw an element of our people in the design of that armor. But I mean, surely such practices are forbidden.
Well, discouraged, but not outright forbidden.
Can Alibaba do a kind of Arcana check from stealth to see if anybody has any, say, genie lamps? Anything emanating magic?
Yeah, I'll let you do an Arcana check to just scope out the magical aspects. So as you look over the three of them from where you can see, you see Karen Fey Moon has various religious symbols all over him. And, I mean, obviously you don't know their names, but I'm doing this for the benefit of the viewer. Fraser Baba has very Middle Eastern styled armor, and Boset Toros has some various adornments about himself. You cannot see anything specifically resembling something that you're familiar with, but these folks have certainly unusual equipment.
And I am, fairly certain myself of the answer, but the high priest of the Erie is almost certainly not a guy who looks and sounds remarkably similar to me. Yes, from my recollection.
Yeah. So being almost a realm unto itself, there are multiple high priests. It would kind of be like more a parish type appointment. But you are not aware of anyone of sort of your make or your age being a high priest. And also, you can give me I would allow multiple checks here. Investigation, perception, religion, or insight. Any of those that you like. I am a generous god.
I'm best at investigation.
I'll say that you can see that he does bear the symbol of Ergifania. As you know it, but the rest of what he's wearing is nothing familiar to you. His robes appear to be dark and pointed, and the aesthetic is quite different than what you're familiar with.
Yes, we have a somewhat angelic aesthetic going on. I have seen.
He do not.
You do not. Well, at the risk of sounding somewhat ridiculous, I do believe that perhaps there might be, I don't know, this might be some form of proof of alternate realities. It could be possible that the worm is so powerful that it tunnels through the multiverse, and possibly you are mirrored versions of ourselves from other places. It seems ridiculous, but the worm, from what we've seen, is capable of moving not only through its own space, but also the path, which is an entirely different plane of existence. It seems that perhaps it could even tunnel through the walls of the universe itself.
Anubis clicks his little hoofs and snaps, and he says, "My dream did have multiple mazes arrayed up as far as the eye could see, and the worm was crossing those mazes. That makes perfect sense in my mind, just given the vision. That just jogged my memory. That's a really good hypothesis."
Well, good. I'm glad I got there completely independent of hearing that.
I turn to my equivalent and I say, "And you, friend, where do you hail from?" "I'm Anubis."
I don't care to say where I hailed from, but suffice it to say that I'm part of an organization that has a vested interest in investing in its agents.
Cool.
That was very
I,
vague.
I honestly don't know who you are, and I don't really care to, reveal all my secrets yet.
I understand. It's very respectful.
I gather you're some sort of holy man, though, and I believe by default we may not get along in that matter.
The
I-
church welcomes all, my friend.
I dare say
I
you'll
make my own path.
I dare say you'll find you're probably more alike than you think, even though your paths have diverged at some point.
Listen, whether this worm is traveling through dimensions or the path itself is extra dimensional and the worm just eats whoever happens to be on it is irrelevant to me. The way I see it, when we return to the path, there's only one set of three going to be accepted. Yes, I'm afraid I must agree with that statement, and reluctantly, I want to be among the three who ends up there. I would agree. Perhaps it's time to take decisive action. Look,
Regrettable.
it's nothing personal. You've been on the path. You know how it is. It doesn't care about who's friends and who's not, and who likes each other and who's nice. It just wants three.
Friends, we don't know we're to the finish line yet. Don't be hasty.
Also, I'm not entirely certain any of your hypotheses have been correct so far. I have seen that the path does accept generosity as a valid input. It respects decisions made that will further the goals of others. You can help others on the path. It's almost a requirement.
Oh, I hear you, and I respect a different approach, but I mean we've killed everyone we've met, and it's worked out so far.
Well, it sounds we have differed along our paths then. If you're committed to this, then we're we are ready to fight you, but it is obviously not our chosen path.
Well, I'm afraid from our perspective, there's just not another way forward. Yes, my friends can be somewhat cruel, but I'm a little bit less emotional about it. You are in our way, and you can die here in the tundra, or you can die at our hands.
Well, I would prefer to pick the first one. I do think I have a better chance with the tundra.
Oh, Fraser, you never need to give them the choice.
Can I prepare an action while we're talking threateningly?
Let's just roll initiative.
Yeah.
And then everyone can prepare action.
Hey, but I'm like stealthed.
Do you want to, DM, do you want to start that? We're towards the, right at the 10 o'clock hour. So I didn't know what you wanted.
It's up to you guys.
I mean, it's always a cool place to end it.
Yeah.
Pre combat, we can come back in guns a blazing next week.
Some exciting content.
I'm still
Sounds good.
stealthed.
Okay.
Do y'all want to roll initiative before?
Sure.
We'll roll initiative now. That sounds good.
Just for a little sexy fun?
Just to
So-
see.
The question.
What's
I
up, buddy?
am stealthed. Do I
well,
get
you
a
make your-
surprise or anything?
You can be out of initiative until you choose to act.
Well, he would be hidden, I believe, right, as an actual condition, assuming that his stealth was good enough, which he got like 19, so he's probably fine. So he'd have the benefits of being obscured from sight until
There you go. How about that, mate?
All right.
until his first action, which would reveal him, obviously.
And I'll give that benefit to your pets as well.
Cool.
Just for funsies.
Can you put me on the tracker? I couldn't get my
Oh
Token
my
selected.
goodness.
I know.
Boo.
More like
Moo.
moo.
Yeah, I said it first.
Let me just take care of the characters I'm responsible for before I take care of the characters you're responsible for.
Just put me
That's-
in front of both set. I got words.
Ah,
Speaking of being
a likely
responsible.
story. You
Oof.
get it? Alibaba versus Fraser Baba.
Yeah.
Mm,
I wasn't sure if that was clear enough.
I didn't get it at first.
Thought
No,
I had to explicitly state.
that was
you
good.
did.
And
All right,
both,
so
both set. I like it.
I have I don't have a lot of Frasier experience.
so Amubis, you need a 19. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Let me do
But I don't
this.
think it's not actually a Frasier reference. It's Bach.
Pardon?
Joel was saying that he didn't have a lot of Frasier reference, and I was saying it wasn't actually a Frasier reference. It's a boxing reference.
The Thriller in Manila.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier?
Yep.
John Frazier?
Joe Frazier.
Jack Frazier? Joe Frazier.
Yes, Joe
Famous fight.
Frazier. I think that's everybody.
Look at my counterpart actually having good decks.
Yes. Indeed.
Much dissimilar to me.
I have done terribly.
It's okay. It's
But
going later's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, especially
It
since
is
you're hidden.
when I
It's
want to
like,
do what I want to do.
you want to
Exactly.
shatter them all or something.
Well,
Fireball.
we'll see next week if maybe we let you act outside of order. We'll
It's fine. I'm
Think
not.
on it.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
good times.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a fine place to end for this week.
Who would have thunk it, folks? Alternate people of us. That's just
Multiverse.
crazy. Like, we're getting, like, Marvel level writing there, PS Zombie. You need to cool it with the story that is just too intense. It's,
Well,
it's
guys.
drawing in the viewers too well.
PS Zombie and the Multiverse of Madness.
That's right. So that was very good. I really enjoyed the names and these character creations, and I'm so excited to see how attacks and stuff will work.
Excited to beat him into the dirt.
Yes.
Faye Star, Faye Moon. A
So
lot of thought went into this, guys.
no, it was good. It was good. So thank you for that, folks. I appreciate you joining us and listening in. If not currently, right now, or later. So. Reminder, you can find us on all the medias. Search PU2ASU on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as Twitch. You can find us on all those platforms. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. If you're interested in being part of our Discord server, let us know, and we will also get you hooked up with that. We love chats. We love likes. We love follows. We love subscribes. So please, if you have it in your heart, please do that. That would be great. Exactly. Heart emojis for you. Let's see. The announcements, we will be doing this again next week. So Woot Woot, session 18 next week, where we fight our counterparts. Monday nights at 8 Central here on Twitch. We also will have Kaiju Slayer session 3 on Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central. The boys just encountered their first kaiju, so they will be taking it on, and so we'll see how that plays out on Sunday night. We want to thank all of our supporters and listeners, and we hope to churn out some more content for you next week. So thank you all, and everyone have a wonderful night. Goodbye.
Was that a cow joke?
What?
Churn out more content? Was that a cow
Churn
joke?
out more content. Yes, sure. I gotta get my mouse to work before I actually end the stream. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, chat.